I've come back to my beloved Southbourne beach. I have deserted this beach for a good couple of months now. Haven't been anywhere near it. The main reason being the fact that it's the middle of summer and it's been bedlam down here with all the holiday makers and sunbathers, etc, etc. Which is fair enough, it is a public beach. One of the downsides to living around here is you have to suffer 1 million people in the summer months. But it is windy, it is rainy, it is generally a pants day. So what am I doing? Fishing. Well, quite simply, I come fishing because there's no one else down there. Look up and down the beach. Where are all the people? They are not here. They are not there. And they are not anywhere. Good news. So we are still in August. We are in fact on August the 19th. The sea is rough. We've got a good force 5 in our chops. To chop it up, it's a great looking sea, it really is. Can't see too much weed, that's nice. It's not coloured up either. So even though it's rough as a badger's... Oh, did I say arse? I'll beep that bit out. Even though it's rough as something else that's rough, I'm still going to have a little play for a mackerel. I might chuck the pop-up rigs out. There's been a lot of mackerel showing again the last few days, which is great news. Obviously the last few days have been a bit calmer than this. I will fish in rough conditions like this for things like the mackerel with the pop-up rigs, as long as it's not coloured up. Rough is fine, coloured up, not so good. It's rough and clear, happy with that. So I'm going to have a little play with the mackerel, see if I can get some fresh mackerel for bait. If I can get fresh mackerel for bait, a head and guts is going in the gutter. It looks so bassy out there. If I can't get mackerel for bait, doesn't matter. I've got a couple of packs of sand eels and I'm just going to sit back, relax and see if we can catch a few rays. I haven't done that for ages and I miss it. First things first, get the pop-up rig out. Simple as always, 2 up, 1 down flapper, 3-foot snoods, a bit of 025 fluorocarbon, or 23 fluorocarbon, sorry. Size 6 wormer, pop up. Haven't got any mackerel today, so I'm just going to use a bit of a sand eel, tiny little tail end piece of this sand eel here. I like this time of year as well, because you get a few gurnards on the pop up. They're such cool things, gurnards. So we get mostly tubs around here. Well, I say mostly, pretty much entirely tubs around here. I must get myself down to Chesil because I have never caught a grey gurnard in my life and I haven't caught a red gurnard on camera either. So I could add 2 species to my species list, couldn't I? I'm really looking forward to this. So nice to be back onto Southbourne. You guys know how much I love this beach. Right, let's go and flop this into the sea. Right, that one's out there. I'm actually going to put this right up high. Why have I put my rod up high? It's because of the surf in the edge, that is all. Right, so that's that rod out, that's our pop-up rod out. I shall see what happens with that. It is 7:09, so I've probably got a good hour or so of potential pop-up fishing. And then on the other rod, I think I'm just gonna launch a bagnall bar with a sand eel out on that one. I have got my ray flapper, 3-hit flapper with hooks for sand eels, which I'm going to use on this rod when I stop messing around with the pop-ups. Just got a sneaky feeling I'll catch more rays closer today. Such a lovely sea on tonight, it really is. Lovely choppy, but there's no ground swell. It's beautiful. 6-ounce grip lead on the end of my bagnall bar today. 3 reasons for that. Reason number 1, on my Verret Syria, which I love to pieces, I personally prefer a 6-ounce lead with it. I need the extra little bit of weight to get the best out of it, because I'm not a particularly huge, muscly, strong guy. So I find a 6-ounce is just right for me with that rod. Number 2 reason is blowing a hoolie straight into me mush. I want a decent bit of weight to punch through that wind and hopefully get a bit of distance. And reason number 3 behind this lead choice is actually the grip part. Nothing to do with the weight, it's the grip part. I like fishing grip leads for things like rays and hounds and things like that. I think it really helps set the hook. So 3 reasons why I'm using a 6-ounce grip, none of which have anything to do with the tidal pool. So just a bit of food for thought. When you're picking your lead for your session, it's not always about tide. In that mishmash of a video last time out, I dropped that smooth hound, didn't I, down Shell Bay. What was I using? Pyramid lead. Would I have dropped that fish if I had a grip lead on? I don't reckon I would have done. So even though I bang that drum myself, even I ignore my own advice and pay the price. One of the advantages to a sea like this, you don't have to worry too much about twitching your baits. Obviously twitching your baits will help move it around and you'll cover more ground, but you don't need to worry about twitching your baits to add movement, because that sea's just throwing those baits and slews all over the place anyway. There's a bucket loads of movement going on my pop-ups. So the flatter the sea is, the more likely I am to twitch more. First ray bait in the water. I'm going to bring the pop-up rig straight back in, only really because I want to check to see if there's much weed on it. Might be the only downside to a bit of a blow, so I might push a little bit of weed in. Doesn't feel too bad. Obviously if there's a weed on your snoods and on your hooks, then you're not popping up. Just a few little flecks of weed. Anything on the snoods? No, nothing on the snoods. Good news, we are fishing. Yeah, no weed at all on the rig. That is fantastic. A few terns starting to dive. That's a promising sign. Oh, slackaroony. Properly slack as well. Ah. Obviously I'll edit that bit out. Oh, wow, that's, wow, well, you know, what can I say? Missed that one. Middle bait gone, bottom bait gone, amateur. It's better. Dressed for English summer now. Let's get my ray flapper baited up whilst it's still light, so we can have a look, see what I'm doing. Rig body, same as my pop-up rig actually, a 2 up 1 down flapper with 3-foot snood. The snoods are far more substantial though. I've got some 050 Maxima Chameleon terminating in a size 1 Aberdeen. I've picked my particular favourite, which is the Gamakatsu LS5013F. Size 1 Aberdeen, absolutely ample because we want nice small sand eels. Because what do you not need for rays? You don't need big baits. I'm going to get all the scent that I need by fishing 3 baits, but I'm going to get a far better hookup rate by fishing a small bait. So 3 small baits better than 1 big bait. That's my theory, lad. Baited needle straight through your sand eel. You can do these just like the worms. Hook in end of needle, slide up and over. Done. And repeat the process 3 times. You don't have to use the needle, obviously. You can just bait them up by hand if you like, but I just thought I'd show that you can use the needle if it makes life easier. I thought I saw my left-hand rod move then. Could I have a bite? Am I dreaming that? I think I'm dreaming that, aren't I? So on the end of my flapper, I've got a 150 gram grip lead. Kind of the same reasons as I'm using the 175 gram on that rod. So I don't want to go 175 gram on my lighter rod because it's a lighter rod. So 150's about as much as I want to fish with it. But I still want a 5, not a 3 or a 4, because I've got to punch a little bit through that wind. You know, I'm dragging 3 baits through a headwind. I need a little bit of weight to get out there. And again, I'm using the grips to make sure I set the hook when Mr. Raymond comes along and takes my bait. There we go. 1 times 3 flapper, baited with sand eels. Might bring in my Bagnall bar and swap that over for the flapper rig. I'm going to keep going with the pop-up rigs for a bit longer. Let's see if this was a little bite or whether I did just dream it. Right, oh, up on slack. What happened whilst I was away, guys? You could have warned me. Some kind of teamwork this is. Yes, there we go. That's all I had to do was walk away from it. I had a bungleweed on my rod. What do we reckon, people? Mackerel or gurnard? Oh, they feel like mackerel. Oh, I just reeled the bungleweed onto my... Oh, goodness sake, Thomas. I'm going to go down and land these. It's not a mackerel, it's a tuna. Size of that. Beast of a mackerel. That is great news. The mackerel are still in, guys. Don't panic. So what have we learned from that? We have learned that you can still catch mackerel in rough seas as long as it's still clear. If the water is clear, you will catch. Have I ever shown you how to fillet a mackerel with a pair of scissors? Anybody who knows me knows I do not and will not advocate taking knives fishing. I genuinely don't think you need them. And just given the modern day and age, I don't like to see people wandering around the beach with great big huge pointy 6-inch blades. Let me demonstrate something here. Pair of scissors. I'm going to cut all the way down there. All the way down there. With a pair of scissors. I'm then going to do the same on this side, the top side. So, I've used these scissors a lot now. They're getting a little bit blunt. And then trim across just behind the pectoral fin. So I basically cut all along the skin around there, and then just get your pair of scissors and chop it along the side, the backbone. This is a massive fish. There we go. One fillet of mackerel with a very safe and legal tool. That was a clean fillet as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not restaurant grade. I'm not serving this up to my in-laws, but it's absolutely fine for bait. Say no to knives. Should we have a look what the mackerel has been eating? Let's dissect our mackerel, shall we? It is stuffed full. Let's just pull this out of its stomach. We have one-time sand eel. Look at the size of that. I'm going to save that. That'll do some bait. There you go. Spare bit of bait. What else is in here? Let me just cut open the stomach. Just loads of sand eels. There we go. That thing is munching some sand eels. Quite nice size sand eels as well. Have we all enjoyed the summer? I hope you guys have got out as much as I have. Actually, I hope you guys have got out more than I have. I've been annoyingly busy over the last few weeks. Downsides to this summer? It's been a little bit windy and rainy off and on. Kind of getting used to that now. And it has been a weedy summer, hasn't it? I've seen a few reports from around the country and it seems to be weedy around the country. Plus sides to the summer, loads of fish. Smoothhound fishing was brilliant. One of the best smoothhound seasons we've had for a long time. There was loads of stingrays, even I managed to catch one, even though it was just big. The bream fishing's been really good. Generally I really enjoyed it. Just starting to creep towards the autumn now, which is when the fishing gets really, really good. Already the cod season down Chesil's looking like it's going to be a stormer, isn't it? That started really well. That started right back in July, didn't it? There's been a few triggerfish showing, the bream are showing, the gurners are down there. I look forward to doing a little bit more gilthead fishing over the next couple of months. So much to look forward to. Sole fishing, we've got that to look forward to. The rays are going to come back in numbers. A lot to look forward to with sea fishing. And then obviously the whiting and the pouting. That's the main season, isn't it? I'm going to bring that ray flapper back in. I've just cut a nice strip of fresh mackerel off. Kind of like sand eel shape and size, but fresh mackerel is such a good bait, guys. I cannot resist putting a little bit out there. So I'm going to switch back to my bagnall bar. Lovely strip of fresh mackerel. And oink that out there, see what we can catch on that. Oh, I won't. Hey, there we go. Did you catch that? Such awesome bites when you pop up fishing. Number two, Mackie Moo. They're all good size, aren't they? What stonking fish they are. Right, where was I? Before I was rudely interrupted. There's a bit of weight on this, actually. I'm convinced myself there's a fish. It is fish. It's a double shot. What have I caught? A double shot of gurnards. One tiny little one. Well, it must be one of the smallest ones I've ever caught down there. Look at it. Got these cool little part of their fin has sort of separated into I was going to say legs, but you know what I mean. They sort of walk along the sea bottom, and then their pectoral fins have grown into these massive wings that are beautiful iridescent blue lined. Not showing off in this light at all, but they are awesome things. There we go, and a slightly better sized one as well. Not a huge gurnard, but beautiful things. They're really, really good eating. If you like catching fish to eat, gurnards are beautiful, but need to be a bit bigger than this. Oh, starting to lose the light. I know it's overcast, but it's only 8:15. That's so depressing. We were supposed to have some spectacular super moon on the rise tonight. I don't think we're going to get to see it somehow. Should we shed a little light on the situation? Look, you can see me again. You lucky people. Let's get the pop-up rig away and put some effort into some rays, shall we? I haven't caught a ray for ages. What have we got? What have we got? We've got a weight. That is amazing. Just sprayed weed and sand in my face. That was nice. Next stop, rays. Come on, Raymondos. Right, let's get this one in. This is the Bagnall bar. Shake off the bungle weed that slid up my line. Ah, get off. And is it a £10 weigh? No, it's not a £10 weigh. Although there is a bit of weight on that. I take back the nothing statement. Another gurnard. Not quite the £10 ray I was expecting. Nice to see a few burnards around though. This one also a tub. Plop him in the bit of water. Let him rest whilst I break this up. So, a new section of my videos, the Stories with Tom. Are you sitting comfortably? And I shall begin. No, seriously, I've got an amazing story. And it's one of those stories that if I didn't have a witness, nobody would believe this. Nobody. It's hilarious. So, just last week, when I was so much younger than I am now, I was night fishing with Darren. Well, more specifically, we were doing a bit of lure fishing at night. Darren was catching lots of bass, and I was watching Darren catch lots of bass. We were wading out into the water with our chesties on, wading out into the water, barely knee deep, probably slightly under my knees, so up to Darren's bum. I suddenly got a bit quiet, and I looked down to my right. Something's caught my eye. Looked down to my right, and there's this fish swimming towards me on the surface. And I've looked, Darren, really excited. You know what I'm like, really excited. Suddenly gone, Darren, look at the size of that fish. And I should have given my expensive rod and reel to Darren, but no, I've thrown it into the water. So Darren, I'm going to jump on, I'm going to grab it. So I've literally gone like that, grabbed this thing, it's kind of flopped and made a shoot for it, but I've grabbed it again and I've come up with it. No word of a lie, I promise you, this is what I caught. Boom. A 51 centimetre turbot. I kid you not. This thing was just cruising along the surface, minding its own business, didn't expect to bump into me. I love eating fish, so swimming towards me is a bit like, committing hara-kiri, really, isn't it? There you go. So that is the best fish I've ever caught by hand. 51 centimetre turbot. Can you guys beat that? If you can, it's going to be an epic story, so let's hear it. Anyway, that's the end of my story. I hope you all sleep well. It's one of those nights, not entirely sure if I had a bite, or whether we've got a bit of weed jumping around in the surf. Oh, there's a bit of weight on, Okay, it's a lot of weight on. That's really digging in, you know what that is, don't you? Digging in, not doing a lot, that has got small thornback written all over it. I'm going to adorn my headlight and wander down. I will see you guys shortly with a ray in hand. It was a double shot, look! This is exciting. Who can tell me what this is? In the gloom, in the dark? Probably nobody, because, it's just a shiny object in the dark. It's a dab. We don't get many dabs around here. So I'm really pleased to see that little fella. You're not going to be able to see this on camera because it's night time. A dab, other than having big boggle eyes, just behind the head, the lateral line suddenly curves out into like a big D or a C shape and then carries on straight again. So if your lateral line goes straight, big curve, and then to the head, she's a dab. But, on the bottom of that rig, I was wrong. It was not a thornback digging itself in. It was in fact a small-eyed. I should probably add the word small in front of small-eyed. So small-eyed. That's tiny. But that actually dug his nose in a little bit and made me think I had some kind of fish on. But there we go. First ray of the evening to go with my gurnards, mackerel and dab. Not a bad little sesh so far. Let's just hope things get a little bit bigger. Right, I think it's time for the head and guts of mackerel. I can't resist. I've been looking at that sea, churning over, turning over, looking bassy. I've got a great big fresh mackerel I've just caught. It's a big old head as well, so I've got a 6-0 circle. Just push that through the nose of the hook, nose of the fish even. When you're using circles, you don't want to go too far in. If you go too deep into the mouth, the hook will come out too far down and not enough hook will be exposed. So I have just nicked that hook just in the very tip of the nose. It's still a really tough part of the mackerel, so it won't come off. But there's maximum hook exposure, which is what I always bang on about, don't I, with circle hooks. And then I'm going to flop that not very far out at all. Whoa, that looks good, doesn't it? If you were a bass, you'd eat that, right? Right, where shall I flop it? Let's flop it over here. Activity on the flapper. What are we calling them, peeps? It's a not very big fish. That's the Latin name. Smallicus fishicus. Or it's a little bass. A little checker. Nobbled me sandeel. Everything's eating sandals tonight. Well, it doesn't look like the big bass bait is going to go tonight. The clock has just ticked past 10 and I need to make a move. Up early again for work tomorrow, so don't want to stay out too late. I've really enjoyed tonight. I genuinely have. Nothing big, nothing too exciting. Just a number of species. A few gurnards, a couple of nice mackerel, a little small-eyed, a little bass and a bonus dab. All in all, not a bad little session. Nice way to dust the rods off and get down Southbourne again. Sort of Southbourne doing what Southbourne does, really. I would have liked to have bumped into a couple more rays, but not to be tonight. I might, if the weather settles down and I get a little bit more daylight, I might come down here again during the week and see if I can winkle out a few more mackerel and bits and bobs and have a slightly more effort into a bass session. Or put more effort into a bass session. It's easy for me to say that, wasn't it? But there we go. Until then, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, hit the like and subscribe button if you don't mind. Or don't, if you didn't like it. You don't have to. I'm not going to force you. But anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.